evening. Glad you could make it for the show. We're going to start off today with a very talented young Canadian band by the name of Seventh Son. Now, you may not have heard of these guys yet, but that could be because of a couple of name changes that have taken place with them since they formed in 1987. But for right now, Seventh Son they are, and Seventh Son they'll remain, I hope. It doesn't matter really what they call themselves, though, because they have great music. Just take a listen. Seventh Son is one of those working man bands. Packed into one van, they've toured throughout northern and southern Ontario. And when they're not on the road, they're doing the club circuit. Now, with a record deal under their belt, a self-titled album out, and a video for their first single, She's Insane, it's obvious their hard work has finally paid off. I caught up with band members Michael Zweig and Terry Martell recently, and they told me more about how they got to where they are today. You've done a lot with homegrown contests. You've been in 2 of them, and I was wondering, do you think they're important to young bands?
I think it's important in the way that anything that promotes music, Canadian music, or like a band starting out is important. Press, even bad press. Because people go, I absolutely hate this band. Then at least there's something that's attached to it. So with homegrown, I guess.
If they hate you, then hopefully they call you 17s or something. Yeah. That wasn't us.
You know, the tune's out and it's on radio and you have a chance to have an audience, you know, so it's very important. It certainly can't hurt.
No, that's for sure.
You'd encourage young bands who are just starting out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get to play a big club and you might get a song on a record.
And it gets you to focus, because you actually have to go down into your basement and cut 4 tunes and try and think that maybe one of them is going to be a hit.
Good
as
point.
Opposed to just doing copy material.
Yeah, and then you get, and then they set up a showcase for you at a big Toronto club, and that's good.
At the time they participated in the 2 Toronto music contests, the band was not called Seventh Son. Settling on a name, any name, has always been a trick for them.
We used to be the Knockouts.
The Knockouts.
Yeah.
First of all, why did you change your name?
Because there was we got a little bit of flack on this for years and years, that there was a band called Frankie and the Knockouts, and when we chose the name, we'd never heard of them, and it's hard to pick a name. So it took us, I don't know how long, to find the Knockouts, and everybody kept saying...
I didn't like the name. I didn't even like the name, so...
People kept saying, like...
So I'm happy that we changed it.
Yeah, like, you gotta change, and we were like, we would spend like a month writing on little slips of paper, what do you... And then it would be like, we hate them all. We're the Knockouts again. And then when we were putting out the record, it was just like, it just got to be silly. Like, we cannot use this name that somebody else has used pretty much exactly. And so we came up with this name, and it wasn't much easier, but we came up with it, and I think we all like it.
I like it.
You gotta tell me some of the throwaway names.
We had like the Beaters.
The Beaters and the Heaters. The Beaters was then Billy Beer and the Beaters, and then the Heaters and Bruce Willis used the Heaters.
Yeah.
And we had one more. The Howlers. We were the Howlers for like a second, and then Omar and the Howlers, and we actually used the name, and I don't know if we maybe didn't print out bios or something, but we actually had the name. It was like, then there was Omar. So it's like we just had, and you know, if the Seventh Son comes out,
actually there's going to be the Seventh Sons or something, kind of like my favorite Martian.
What, a TV show or something? Well, we'll just have to kill them, because you know what? We're not choosing another name.
You're the Seventh Sons, and that's
We're Seventh Son, and no matter what, this is us. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. You can never even imagine how hard it must be to pick a name for a band that everybody can agree on. But now that we have thoroughly whetted your appetite, here's Seventh Son with She's Insane. You're watching Rock and Talk.